I can. How are you, Timisa? Good
I'm
to
doing
see you.
good to see you too. Amazing, amazing, Leo. Again, once again, it's going to be an amazing talk by Sagar. And just to let everybody know a little bit about where we stand and what we are, CMA introduced this leadership series with the objective of creating a platform for industry leaders to share their thoughts and views on facing these challenging times and draw lessons from this difficult period to move forward in business and life. We have had the privilege of listening to three industry veterans, Mr. R. Gopalakrishnan, Mr. Harsh Neotia, and Mr. Mohandas Pai, in the earlier episodes of this series. We thought it's time to shift direction and look up to the younger generation of entrepreneurs and listen to what and how they are looking at these challenging times. To shift direction and to look up to the younger generation of entrepreneurs, listen to what and how they're looking at these challenging times, of course. In our, it is our pleasure this evening to have with us an amazing, dynamic, and enterprising young man who, in a very short span of time, has not only carved out a niche for his organization, but has been able to disrupt many of the traditional methods of doing business. Well, I join you in all welcoming him, Sagar, and eagerly waiting to hear him. But before that, I'm going to let you on to Sagar's story a little bit. And I hope I'm still there.
Yeah, very much.
Okay. Oh, now we're going to do a. Okay. Now, Sagar's story, he's got the smile on his face. And whenever he has this smile on his face, trust me, he's always brimming with ideas. And that's what he is all about. Continuously thinking of innovating, whether it be food, whether it be visuals, whether it be engaging with clients, whether it be ensuring that those beautiful sites of amazing food, innovatively creates a kind of tickle on the minds of whoever is going to be consuming them. So, well, two young friends from Kolkata transformed a simple dumpling to a national phenomenon and cooked up an amazing success story within a span of about 10 years. Established by Binod Homangai and Sagar Daryani, alumni, of course, of St. Xavier's College, Wow Momo is a 280 crore company built out of sheer passion and love. Sagar, I still don't know how you've done it because a lot of people haven't been able to build up a 280 crore company out of nothing, out of no godfather, out of nobody behind them. You've actually done magic, and congratulations. Well, after completing his school from St. James School, Kolkata, and graduating from St. Xavier's College, Sagar Daryani started Wow Momo with friend Binod Humagai immediately after completing the final year examinations at the young age of 21. In their college, these two passionate individuals shared one more thing other than their classrooms, their love for Tibetan dumpling. Sagar owed his love to a momo seller outside his school where he sampled a number of dumplings. When they discussed about their future plans, the idea to turn their favorite dish into a business model appealed to them. Although they were both offered lucrative jobs, they wanted to try their luck in business. Wow, truly amazing. Initial hiccups included the raising of funds where the respective families came to their rescue, and the business started off with an initial investment of rupees 30,000. A brand that originated in Calcutta and currently has 160 outlets in 10 cities. Wow Momo is the country's largest chain of momos in terms of turnover and volumes. The journey from a small kiosk to India's original quick service restaurant chain was not devoid of problems. A 200 square feet kitchen was with one table, two part-time cooks on a nominal salary. Raw materials taken at credit from a local grocery shop were the first few pillars of this brand. It was Spencer's Retail Limited in Kolkata, which gave these young entrepreneurs their first break in 2008. Over the years, Sagar and his team has literally played with momos. Now the menu consists of 13 different flavors of momo available in steam, pan-fried, fried variants. Constant innovation, that is the key. And invention has been the backbone of the brand. Sagar is an enthusiast who is extremely passionate about brand building. He idolizes Sachin Tendulkar and intends to emulate the same diligence in his profession. So he's hitting quite a few sixes, and I'm sure, who knows, maybe Indian cricket will have a huge hit called the Eight also. Sagar dreams of an India where his brand can generate 100% employment. Sagar has been instrumental in mentoring startups in the F&B space, and few of them are already operationally profitable mode. Today, Wow Momo sells 2 lakh momos across the country every day, with a whooping 85,000 being consumed in Kolkata alone. They have employed 1,500 people in various outlets across India, of which 60% are specially able people from different NGOs. Variety and vision go hand in hand in Wow Momo, and by 2021, the brand aspires to go global with outlets in the US, UK, Canada, and other countries. According to Sagar, coping, yes, with everyday struggles, that has been the biggest tutor. The team has acquired the knowledge from their first-hand experience. In his own words, the journey has not been trouble-free for us. We learned from every mistake. Even now, we are learners. Under Sagar's leadership, Wow Momo has earned many awards and accolades, including the National Entrepreneurship Award 2016 from the Ministry of Skills and Development, Entrepreneurship, Government of India, and the Image's most admired Indian origin quick service restaurant chain of the year in 2018. In February 2014, Mr. Daryani was conferred with the 50 most talented retail professionals of India award. A passionate speaker, Shazra has given business and motivational talks at various business schools and entrepreneurship cells across the country. The brand under his leadership aspires to be the McDonald's of India and aims to become one of the world's largest, fastest growing chains, QSR chains, creating employment and adding value to the economy and the society as a whole. With the focus on increasing and enhancing its customer base and service, respectively, 100 Wow Momo stores across pan-India in the near future is a definite possibility. And of course, from Wow Momo, it's also Wow China, which is truly yummy, very authentic, very tasty. I've tried it. It's just wonderful. Sagar, today, a warm welcome on behalf of CMA. We've got a huge amount of participants out here who are going to be listening to you. And of course, you're going to be talking about applying past leadership lessons to the pandemic crisis. Over to you, Sagar. And just to everybody and all our participants, after Sagar finishes, we are going to be choosing a couple of questions you can put on chat. And we're going to be asking him that questions, post which our president will be giving a vote of thanks. So over to you, Sagar.
Thank you so much, Sir Jimmy sir, for the wow welcome. I just want to go on record and say that he's not only my favorite RJ, he was my first boss in Red FM when I was interning there. And that's the only job I ever had. I think I learned a lot of my branding at Red FM. We did the Red FM superhero campaign, if you remember, Jimmy sir, which won awards and accolades. And even now, when he's with Friends FM, going to his show on Dil Se, he's always been it's been overwhelming, interacting with him. He's always promoted us. He's been someone who's, literally stood by you, been one of my biggest brand ambassadors, he never told me a no, and that's what I love about him. So thank you so much, Jimmy sir. I mean, these words coming from you mean a lot. Have grown up looking at you, have loved your voice, and your show, Dil Se, is amazing. Maybe I have to try my luck, on proposing my girlfriend on Dil Se if I have to make things work. But
we will definitely create a wow moment on radio. I promise you that, with your girlfriend.
I think you'll have to get my swayamvar done. But yeah, on getting back to the topic, I think the current times are tough times, Corona times, and these are adverse situations, and adversity calls for diversity. Adversity calls for reinventing yourself, reinventing your business model, introspecting, looking back at the past and seeing how you can come back more stronger in the future, and how you can hold fort in the current scenario. I think the current times have literally been a reality check for many of us. It's really, really bad out there. I mean, so just to give you guys some numbers, we have 2,700 employees right now. We have a monthly salary of 4.5 crores. And as a company, we've decided we will not do any job cuts, because if it's very important as a leader to be very transparent, with your employees, with your team, to know your strength, to know your weakness, and to go out there and tell them what the real picture is, what the current scenario is, and to give them that security and that assurance that we are there with you. I think what you do as a company, as a brand, as an organization right now, will stand out for times to come. You are actually building a foundation for belief amongst people in your organization in the current scenario. And I think that's what we intend to do as a young organization, because I've always believed that our population is our biggest strength, and we are a hardcore consumer market, and the country's youth is our biggest asset. And it's, if we as young guys, as a young startup, if we don't set trends, we don't look at things differently. We are looking at a more larger wow India going forward, right? So it's about rewriting the India story. It's about doing by example. So I think it's a moral responsibility that we young guys as startups have to set the trend, and that's what we are looking at doing at Wow Momo. You get nightless, you get nightmares at time thinking that how will you pay salaries for so many months? How many months can you pull through? And trust me, guys, it's real scary. And I'm speaking heart to heart here. It's real scary. You get sleepless nights. You wonder as to how you're going to keep the jobs intact. When will the new normal come? You don't know. Currently, for us, out of our 345 outlets across the country, only 67 are operational in delivery, and delivery is just 25% of our total business in a normal scenario, right? And delivery business is the new now. So the new now is something which is 100% of your business. And if you look at the pre-COVID era, it's 1/10 of your business, right? If we as a brand would do 20 crores a month, we did not even touch 2 crores in the month of April. So it's literally, 1/10 or 1/11 of your business. So yeah, real tough times. Now what do? You have to stand tall. You cannot let your shoulders droop. The first thing that we did, I think we were very transparent with our team. We paid them all salaries for the month of March, because it happens right in the middle, and we gave them that assurance. Me as a leader went on record. I had a video shared with my entire team where we assured them that there will be no job cuts happening at Vamo for the next 6 months. Because today your employees bank on you. Today, if you leave them midway, where will they get a job right now, right? So every morning, when I wake up, it gives me a very different kind of a kick that we have 2,700 people employed by us. And when you look at numbers, when you look at number of outlets, when you look at top lines, turnovers, when you look at profitability, I think I'm not really much concerned about that. What gives me a kick is how can I take this 2,500 plus employees to 5,000, and how can I take that 5,000 to 50,000? I think that gives you a very different kind of a kick. Creating employment. It makes you feel empowered. It makes you feel responsible. It makes you it makes you feel that you are creating some kind of value addition to the society. I think job creators are one of the biggest assets of our country, and that's what entrepreneurship is all about, right? So I think we were very, very transparent with our team. We assured them that there are going to be no job cuts for the next 6 months. Fortunately, we are a private equity funded company, so we have some reserves. We've been profitable for, so Jimmy sir, 11 years ever since I began my business. 11 years have never seen losses, and the month of April 2020 was always the first time it happened with us. Now, how do you bounce back? What do you do differently? So in our scenario, we felt that for us, keeping the show going on was very important. We could have decided not to keep the delivery business on. We could have decided to shut everything and just stay shut and, try and bring the losses to the bare minimum. Obviously, currently conserving cash is the mantra. People who can really bring down the losses to the least is the mantra. Cash is the current king, right? So the amount of cash that you can conserve is going to hold you as a stronger resource in future to bounce back. But we felt that out of sight is out of mind. We said it's very important to be visible. It's very important to keep the show going on, because come what may, the show must go on. Till today, Wow Momo has never ever been shut for a single day. And trust you me, guys, during this lockdown, I think we were one of the only Indian homegrown brands that were not shut for a single day. Not even on the day when Modi ji had called for that one day band on the Janta curfew. That day also we were operational, because there are a lot of people who actually depend on outside food, outside cooked food, because they are bachelors. There are people who cannot cook. There are people who live in paying guest houses. So we feel food, food is it goes by the word of mouth, and food is an essential service. I mean, for me, food is love. And how do you make that love available to everyone? And that's been one of our biggest motivations to keep the show going on over the last 45 days when we've gone through this lockdown. We felt we need to reinvent ourselves. We need to look at things differently. The post-COVID era would be a very different era. Today it's all about hashtag social distancing. It's all about hashtag contactless, right? I'll tell you what we did differently. We are currently serving food, delivering food through Swiggy, Zomato from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Right now, we felt, how can we use our assets better? How can we use our manpower better? Because out of 2,500 plus people, only 700 are engaged. Rest are all at home because the stores are shut, all the malls are shut, the airports are shut, your tech parks are shut, many of your high street stores are shut. Cities like Hyderabad are completely shut. Cities like Pune are completely shut. So, we said, how do we sweat the asset better? How do we create a newer business model so that, we can, maybe try and get some more amount of revenue coming in so that the losses are lesser and lesser. So we created this new thing called Wow Momo Essentials. I mean, for us, it's always been about innovation. So Wow Momo Essentials serves you grocery real time, the way you get food served real time. So you can go to the Swiggy app, you go to Wow Momo Essentials, you can actually order for eggs, bread, milk. You can order for vegetables, fruits. You can order for condoms. You can order for sanitary pads. You can order for sanitizers. So we've kept the essential need going on. Wow Momo Essential was a new business idea. Why did we do it? Because, if you have to go and order online via Big Basket or a Grofers, they are completely overpacked. It takes them 2 days to come and serve you an order. And might as well, here we are serving food real time within 45 minutes. Now, if you go to a Big Bazaar or a Spencer's, it's not really social distancing that's happening. They're quite crowded. So a lot of people are quite wary towards going to supermarkets. They are quite wary towards ordering online because it takes a lot of time. So somehow we used our minds better. We innovated and we started this Wow Momo Essential, where you get bread served in delivered in 45 minutes. You get eggs delivered in 45 minutes. And we saw a 30% increase in revenue. That's one innovation that we did. But over my past few years, I've always realized that, it's very, very important to be innovative. It's very important to look up to every difficulty like a challenge and convert that challenge into an opportunity. So I'll give you guys a couple of examples in the past. We all know about demonetization, right? I mean, when demo happened in 2016 November, and rupees 500 and rupees 1,000 was completely banned overnight, it affected business very badly then as well, right? I remember, I think around that time, we were about to do a Series A fundraise, our first major fundraise after the angel funding. And we had a couple of investors who had given us term sheets. The minute demonetization was announced, the investors said that, we are going on a larger Christmas break and we want to wait and watch. So, the prospective investors were not there. Business was completely down and out. For the first 1 week, we kept waiting at the stores and there was not a single consumer coming to the store. Then we thought differently. We said, what can we do differently? We said, if consumers don't come to us, let's go to them. So what we did across all our stores, we have ATM around our stores, right? So people were queuing up outside ATM, they're standing in lines for hours and hours. What we did, Calcutta is the head office, and we were there in, I think, some 7-8 cities that time. We got these insulator bags, which can keep hot food hot and can keep cold, transported to all these cities. We got Tupperware water bottles transported to all these cities. We got paper cups to transport it to all these cities. And we sent our employees to the queues to serve water to people who are standing in under the sun for hours and hours, waiting to withdraw money or to deposit money. When we served them water, they are hungry. We gave them the menu. We got food delivered to them in the menu while they were standing in the queue. And we got the EDC machine. We got debit card swiped. We gave them a 20% discount. And believe you me, the entire industry was down by 40%. We closed that month down by 20%. Looking at us, brands like Domino's, KFC started emulating what we did. So, in a way, we became trendsetters. So if consumers are not coming to you, we send our employees to go to the consumer outside ATM, serve them water, serve them food, because, you are thirsty, you are hungry, you're waiting there for hours and hours. So that's how we were innovative and we were different, and we converted that challenge into an opportunity. And the investors who went on a long Christmas break saw the way we turned around thing and came back with a larger valuation, with a larger check, and with more confidence. So, that's how you do things differently. Similarly, I remember I launched, we launched our store in Odisha, in Bhubaneswar, and then we opened our next store at Puri. Puri is known for the Jagannath Rath Yatra, right? Now, when we opened our store the day the Rath Yatra began. And there was this beverage company which had painted the entire town of Puri red. They spent 3 crores to paint the entire town of Puri red. And our store launch was not even visible. The Wow Momo yellow was not visible because we were all covered by yellow, red all around us. And we never had marketing budgets, right? So what did we do? When Rath Yatra happens in Puri, there are a lot of people who come to Puri to visit the Jagannath temple. There are tons and tons of people, right? And when tons and tons of people comes, Puri being a sea beach, a lot of litter is created. We sent 50 guys in a bus from Calcutta to Bhubaneswar, dressed in the Vamomo t-shirt. We tied up with the municipal corporation, and we got them bags made where they could pick up the litter and put it like a dustbin behind them. And we got 50 guys moving, wearing the yellow t-shirt all around the city of Puri. There were a lot of street vendors serving you, serving you food, serving you tea, coffee. We gave everyone umbrellas. It was raining, it was monsoon. We gave everyone Vamomo umbrellas. We spent just 3 lakh rupees, and whatever that foreign beverage company had spent 3 crores to get the mileage, we did it in 3 lakhs, and we ensured that the red was converted to yellow. That's how we were innovative, and that's how we took it up like a challenge. So, you had Vamomo umbrellas, you had the vendors wearing Vamomo t-shirts, you had your own guys picking up litter. People actually came forward and thanked us for doing a good cause. Similarly, you go to any Vamomo store across the country, you will see many WOW special colleagues, people who cannot speak, cannot hear. I think one of the attrition rates amongst them is the lowest. The reason that, we are really high on retention is because these guys really value their jobs. We had to really restructure our training module. We had to teach our guys how to interact with them. We had to teach our guys, sign languages. And, when this guy sells you a momo with a beverage, and when he tells you that it's spicy, to the consumer is super impressed. So, as a brand, everything that you do, you create an impression in the mind of the consumers. I feel proud to say that we are one of the very first retail chains in the country and the first food brand to hire transgenders. We have 70 plus transgenders hired with us. Initially, when we hired, there was a lot of hesitation from the consumers, from employees within, and most importantly, from their own fraternity, from their own community. Because when we hired our first transgender, the entire group came to our Bangalore store and pelted our store with stones. Our glasses were broken. We had to give police protection to the transgender whom we hired. We had to give police protection to our entire team. But when one person came forward and took that step and felt appreciated, felt respected, felt a level of dignity for themselves, because ultimately, if you have males, you have females, you also have transgenders. Even they have the right to feel respected. They have the right to feel appreciated, and they want to keep their health up high. They were fed up of begging. They were fed up of going out there, barging into weddings, barging into births of children and cursing people if you don't pay them money. So they wanted to come out of that system. When one person took a step, we had 5 more following in the week's time. And then across the country now, we have 70 plus transgenders working with us, living a livelihood, drawing a salary, working happily with a smile and feeling empowered. I think, being able to empower them, being able to, create jobs for them is what really matters. And we as a young organization could do it. And now I think there are other retail chains who are doing it. There's Domino's who wants to do it. So imagine how you set trends as a startup, as a youngster, and how you innovate things differently to, make things happen. So, these have been a few past experiences that we've done things differently to ensure that, we create an impression in the minds of people who work with us. We create an impression in the society to look at things differently, change mindsets. So, I've always believed, and I've learned a lot of this from Jimmy sir also, that, brands are actually built in the mind of the consumer. If you go to any Vamomo store, you will see the bright yellow signage. You will see the guys wearing smart yellow t-shirts, smiling. We were not a brand from the US or UK where, we would open our first store and there would be a 1 kilometer queue. We had to roll eyeballs. We had to attract people to our stores. We were confident that, once they eat the Wow Momo, they will become ours forever. But to get that guy to your store for the very first time was a challenge. And that's why the look and feel of the store, the packaging, the way your staff talks to the consumer, happy employees create a very happy environment, and happy employees create a profitable environment. I think we all end up promoting ourselves amongst consumers. We all end up promoting ourselves amongst investors. But your biggest asset is your employee, your team, because without the team, you can't go wow. I mean, your team really matters. And trust me, guys, 1 good employee can get you 10 good employees. And it's all by the word of mouth. So one thing that I've learned and realized is that it's very important to promote yourself amongst your team. It's very important to, set examples. It's very important to be transparent. And it's very important to have an organization which is a very open, acceptable, and inclusive organization. I think that's what we've done. Differently. I think both Vinod and me, when we began Wow Momo, we did not even have any permanent employee. We had 2 part-time chefs who would come and make momos in my home kitchen. And Vinod and me would wear the Wow Momo t-shirt and work inside the store, clean the dustbin, do the closing at night, ensure that the store is kept hygiene. Walk up to every customer with a tray in my hand, make them sample momos, wear the Wow Momo t-shirt, feel proud wearing it. And at night when we would walk back, we in Calcutta you have shuttle autos, right? So when we would go from my home to the store, we would carry momos in those big rucksacks, heavy rucksacks, and they would be heavy, right? And we had to take 2 auto rickshaws to get to my first store. While coming back at night, because the momos would get sold out, it would be empty. We would walk one way, not take an auto rickshaw, and save rupees 10. So rupees 10, rupees 10, rupees 20 saved. And that's where we learned that 1 rupee saved is like 5 rupees earned, and that's what business is all about. And I think that's the kind of passion that we've inculcated amongst our team. We've tried to replicate ourselves within them. We've tried to replicate our passion into them, and I think that's why I can proudly say that today, with 2,700 plus employees, we are the only profitable homegrown quick service restaurant chain in the country, with more than 345 outlets. And the future looks very bleak. It looks very tough. The restaurant industry is going to be the worst affected. I see business being sluggish till September. I don't see malls opening up before July, August. And these are tough times. People will stop coming to your stores. The delivery business will go up. I personally believe that takeaway will become a very important aspect in our business, because people will want to come to your store, pre-order and take away. So like now you pre-order and you do a delivery in your house. Now there will be an application where you can pre-order and come to your store and do a takeaway, because in India we believe in seeing. So you want to come and see how the hygiene of the store is. You will see many more live kitchens coming in. You will see people live streaming their kitchens. You will see a lot of contactless happening at the restaurant. A 40-cover restaurant will become a 20-cover restaurant, because you have to maintain social distancing. You will see a lot of social distancing happening in the kitchen. A kitchen with 5 guys might come down to 3 guys. You might see limitation of menu. If you all remember, when we had the 26/11 terror attacks outside every restaurant, outside every mall, you had people, scanning you with metal detectors. Now there will be a new form of scanning. There'll be a scanning of health. There'll be a scanning of hygiene. Anyone entering a restaurant, their temperature would be scanned. People would not want to touch the door of a restaurant. It's going to get contactless to that extent. So a lot of changes coming into the industry. Business is not going to come back to normal. The current scenario calls for survival. You have to live today to survive tomorrow. You have to try out newer things. You have to reinvent your business model. Our complete business model is going to change. Our revenues are going to come down. Imagine a store where I'm paying a 2 lakh rupee rental and my sales are 10 lakhs. That store, the revenue of that store might come down to 7 lakhs. And then paying a 2 lakh rental might not make sense. So there might be many store closures. And it's going to be really tough out there. I think there's going to be a lot of firefighting individually as well as collectively as an industry, as a fraternity. But trust me, guys, the travel, tourism, the hospitality, the restaurant sector is going to be the worst affected. There's a lot of fear psychosis amongst people. People are not ordering food because they're scared that the rider might have the virus, might be a carrier. They're scared that the guy preparing the food might be a carrier, and through the food, what if the virus gets inculcated to them and to their family members? So a lot of fear has come into people. All we can do is we can be transparent. We can proudly talk about the hygiene levels that we maintain. Our industry is all about health, hygiene, happiness. But for us to be happy and remain alive, we need your support. We need the support of people who love us, to believe in us. Trust me, we've always focused on health, hygiene, and as an industry, as a fraternity, not just Wow Momo. I'm sure we're going to continue doing that. But more importantly, it's very, very important to take precautions to ensure that whenever you're eating out or whenever you're traveling out, you have your precautions ready. You go to the right kind of restaurants. You look at their hygiene levels and then take a call. But the fear psychosis amongst people, social distancing is not really good for the economy. I mean, imagine, my take here is very different. We've gone on lockdown, which is very good. To an extent, it's good to prevent the virus from spreading. But this virus is not going to end here. We don't see a vaccine coming in before September, October. We don't see a paracetamol to this virus coming before September, October. So what do we do? Do we all stay at home and remain locked down? That's not how the economy is going to work, because there are 2,500 million daily wage earners in our country. And these are stats that I'm giving you because I've researched on them. 2,500 million daily wage earners. These are the guys who are your dishwashers, your housekeeping guys, your stewards, your salesmen in retail stores, your drivers, people who run Uber, Ola, people who run public transport. We are actually risking their lives for a few lakhs of people who might get affected by this virus. So the economy has to go on. I'm someone who believes that the economy has to go on. I'm someone who believes that we need to get the economy running. The youth of the country, the young, have to come forward and get the economy going. I think the elderly, the people who are a bit vulnerable, the people who are not keeping well need to stay at home, need to protect themselves. But it's high time that the economy has to come back to shape, because social distancing is not good for the economy to a large extent. Social distancing is going to kill. It's like an epidemic on the economy. We're calling it a pandemic, but this is like an epidemic on the economy, and we need to live today to survive tomorrow. So, I mean, if you ask me, I'm being very candid here. I think the government needs to come forward. The government needs to take various steps. At the moment, I've always been a very big Modi fan, but to be very honest, as an entrepreneur, as a young startup of the country, I am highly disappointed because I don't see the government taking any steps, coming forward and supporting us in any way till now. They've been quite quiet. They've been spectators. It's very good to adapt from the West, to learn how to clap, to learn, to light candles. It's very good to, follow them and celebrate people who are actually going out there and working selflessly. But the West have also come forward and given oxygen to the businesses. They have given employment pay covers. They have come forward and announced force majeure. They have come forward and given GST reliefs. They have come forward and given tax waivers, tax holidays. I think in our country, a financial package for the MSME sectors have to come in. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of bloodbath. A lot of people are going to lose jobs. I know in my industry, in my fraternity, the food and beverage fraternity, many of your favorite restaurants did not open up again. Many of your favorite restaurants were living hand to mouth. They were living on current cash flows. And they have asked their employees to go on leave without pay. So it's real bad out there. There's a lot of bloodbath happening, and it's not good for the economy. It's not good for the industry. It's not good for you and me because we are going to go back by a few years because of these few months of pandemic, and we need to bounce back, and we can only do that together. We can hope for the vaccine to come in as soon as possible, but we need to take precautions. We need to keep moving. We need to get the economy going. The youth, the young have to come forward and get things going. We have to be sensible. We have to, take preventive measures. We are all masked for the next 6 months. We have to wear that mask. We have to step out. We have to use sanitizers. We have to, maintain social distancing, but yet keep the show going on. And that will require a lot of sacrifices for all of us to make. But we have to make that not just for you and me, but for the larger good of a large group of people there, who currently are not even getting a single meal to have. I'm a part of the NRAI, the National Restaurant Association of India. I head the Calcutta chapter. NRAI has gone out there and served 50 lakh meals. Calcutta, we've served 5 lakh meals to the needy. And, when we are working with the Calcutta police, and when we go out there and we serve these meals, there are guys who are just getting 1 meal a day to eat. They only get lunch. They don't get dinner. There are guys in slums, people in slums who are living with the fears of not getting back their jobs. They're living with the fear of not having any money left in their homes or in their banks. Their bank balances are zero. Some of them actually had food after 4 days. Some of them don't even have money to buy medicines for their kids. Some of them don't even have money to buy milk for their kids, for the younger babies. So it's really bad out there, and we need to bounce back faster. And we need to all be responsible enough to ensure that we maintain social distancing, but get the economy going, get action going, and get moving. So that's my bit. Happy to engage, answer questions, and yeah, happy to hear you guys.
Yeah, Sagar, amazing. Spoken truly from the heart and reality. And I think as we move forward, the mantra is going to be reimagine, re-innovate, and reboot. We can't go back to 5 months ago what we were doing. We have to rethink. And it's not just rethinking about monies and how to make monies, but how, when we get back to work, we are going to organize ourselves. How will we maintain social distancing as well as at the same time carry on our work? We are already broadcasting live in this lockdown period, and we know exactly the situation of how to manage. Trust me, it's not an easy task. So I think people need to be positive, go-getting, and need to be confident of themselves rather than feeling down and depressed. Because I think that's one thing which is going to get us gung-ho moving ahead, no matter what. It's going to take time, but we are going to overcome in time to come. Maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. As someone said, this year is a time to organize, and next year is a time to look at the profits pouring in. So it's going to take a little time, and we have a lot of questions. Firstly, a small congratulatory message from TVS Shenoy from CMA saying, outstanding initiative to hire transgenders. Amazing. Congratulations for that. And Anurag Lala says, he's a senior secondary school student. And he wants to ask you how to get business ideas from the Indian market, because eventually there's nothing great out there to really captivate the youngsters. So, either you look west or you actually have that great innovative mind to churn out the ideas. So he's saying when you look at the Indian market, there's nothing so great to kind of zap you. So how do you get great ideas, Sagar?
Yeah, I think you have to be very observant and you have to look at the gap in the market. We felt if people can play with burgers, with pizzas, why can't we play with momos, And there was this lady in my school who would come and sell momos. I would call her Momo Auntie. I would just buy one plate and just get one piece to eat. My friends would gobble the rest. I would look at the crowd outside Excite and people eating momos in standing in the road. So, I felt that the product has a huge demand. It's not been well packaged. It's not been well branded. No one has innovated with it. Let's start playing with momos, just the way Domino's has played with pizzas and built a brand out of pizzas, or how McDonald's has become the #1 king for burgers. So I think it's all about convenience. It's all about finding the right gap. And it's about doing simple things with style. We did no rocket science. I mean, making momos was no rocket science. It's just that we saw a gap. We said, let's, it's a virgin market. Let's get into it. Let's create a brand. So when people think of momos, they should think of Wow Momo. Just the way when you think of burgers, you think of McDonald's or a Burger King, or when you think of pizzas, you think of Domino's. So I think it was all about, having that, mission of creating that goal of creating a brand, building a brand, focusing on the product, because the good product sells, right? And how do you package it well? How do you ensure hygiene, safety standards? How do you ensure that you innovate with it? And how do you experiment and give the consumer something new? Because the consumer wants something new from time to time. The consumer wants convenience. The consumer is willing to experiment because, in our country, the advent of internet, social media has taken urban India to rural India without even traveling or taking a flight or a train to get there, right? So people are very much aware. You can't fool people anymore, right? So your idea has to be real. Your idea has to be very innovative and has to be practical. It has to make business sense. See, it's very good to have an idea, but the ideation matters a lot. Many people can have ideas, but how do you implement that idea? The ideation, that is very, very important. Execution is very, very important. And for that, you need to do it yourself. You need to go out there. You need to be brave. You need to take some tough calls. You will see a lot of failures. I mean, I've spoken a lot about successes, but you'll see a lot of failures. You'll see, as an entrepreneur, there are days when you are so upset that you can't sleep because, you have tears in your eyes. And then there are days when you're so happy that you can't sleep because you're overjoyed, right? So I think that's what entrepreneurship is all about. I mean, your dreams should be so big that they don't allow you to sleep. Okay. And I think that's what it's all about out there. Live your passion, follow your passion, but be realistic, and that's how you create a brand or a business.
That's amazing. There are a lot of questions coming in. And a question from Rajiv Kumar says, given the QSR model that you have, you're obviously less likely to be affected than other conventional players in the COVID-19. Nevertheless, where do you go from here? And does COVID-19 alter your plans in any way of your basic business?
I think it's a very good question, and it alters the plan to a large extent. So I'll give you some small numbers. We were at 244 stores last financial year. This financial year, we opened 101 stores in 11 months. And in the month of March, we were supposed to open 12 stores, and all 12 stores were ready, but we never opened. We did not go live with them. So imagine from 244 stores to 345 stores, 101 stores being added in a new year. And with 12 stores ready, another 28 in fit out. That means 40 stores were in fit outs, right? About to open. We were expanding at a very rapid pace, almost opening 10 to 12 stores every month. We launched a new brand called Wow China. by God's grace, got overwhelming response from people in a very short span of time. And then you have this pandemic which comes up out of the blue and just punches you and just drops you down, right? Very important to get up and remain alive. I think going forward, it's going to be more about consolidation for us. It's not going to be about expansion. It's going to be about surviving. It's going to be about reinventing the business model. See, our business model is going to completely change. And if our business model changes, the business model of landlords will have to change. The business model of food aggregators will have to change. The business model of malls will have to change. It'll all come to it's like a circle, right? So we have to get back there to the drawing board. We have to first, when we open up after the pandemic, after the lockdown, first we will understand as to how the traction is happening, whether customers are coming to your stores or not, how many orders are happening, how many deliveries are happening. Trust me, although we have kept delivery business on during lockdown, the delivery business has not even reached 50% of what it is in a normal scenario, because people are scared to order out, So that fear psychosis is going to remain amongst people. So again, a lot of people are going to come and do takeaway. Dine-in will come down. Your delivery is completely based on aggregators like Swiggy, Zomato. They charge you a commission. Now, when the delivery demand will go up, their commission rates are going to go up. So our profitability is going to come down. Earlier, 25% of my business would be delivery and 75% would be, normal takeaway or dine-in. Now that 25% is going to become 60%, of delivery. Now, remember one thing, when you are in the delivery market, delivery is all about e-commerce, and e-commerce is all about, giving some discounts, some offers. Now, when you give discounts on your food, which even we do on online to provide that convenience to the consumer, your food cost goes up, right? So supposing if your food cost is 30% on rupees 100, when you give a discount of 10-20%, it becomes 35% on rupees 100 or 40% on rupees 100. So with the delivery increasing, your profitability is going to come down because your commission of the aggregators are going to go up, your food cost is going to go up. At the same time, you have many stores where you have sitting arrangements, right? You have many stores where they will not be completely utilized, but your rentals are long-term agreements for 11 years, 9 years. You have to renegotiate the rentals. Many landlords will agree, many will not agree. In many locations, you might have to shut shop. And when you open after lockdown, you will actually realize where the business is heading to. It will take you 2 to 3 months to understand the problem. Once you understand the problem, you will have to solve for the problem, which will take another 6 months. So the next 9 months are going to be really, really hectic. I think it's going to be all about understanding, learning, reinventing, experimenting. When you experiment, you might succeed, you might fail. If you fail, you have to learn quickly from that failure and bounce back again. So the business model is completely going to change. I think we are going to all see a 2.0 in our company. Like Jack Ma said, this year is all about being alive from the virus, being alive in your business. It's not about following expansion. It's not about following your dreams. It's about ensuring that, you are alive so that you can dream tomorrow and live today.
Great. A lovely question. In fact, a nice question has been put from Shom Shankar Mitra. And this is a question I think everybody is asking, especially when food is delivered. What are the safety measures you are taking for customers in regards to delivery, so that, the mental frame of mind is always, people are worried. As you rightly said, the guy delivering could have COVID, or the person cooking the food could have COVID. How am I so sure that, boss, I can be shant and I can know that my food is absolutely safe to consume? So what are the steps you're taking, Sagar?
So I'll tell you what. Firstly, any employee who comes to the Wow Momo store is not allowed into the store before his temperature check is done. And as a process, as an SOP, we are getting temperature checks done thrice in a day for every employee. Now, firstly, when you come to the store outside, before you enter the store, your temperature check is done. That is, we have been very fast here because, we all are tech savvy people now. We are all into the food tech business. You cannot mark your attendance till when you don't give your temperature. So we made that mandatory in the last 7 days. So only when you check in your temperature and you give a proof of it, will your attendance be taken. Once that is done, you come inside the store, you are wearing mask, you're wearing gloves. Every hour there's a process where, you are doing a hand wash every hour, which is a deep cleaning hand wash. And every half an hour you're using sanitizers. So, that is also very well taken care of. Now, when the delivery rider comes, the delivery rider is not allowed into the store. It's completely contactless delivery for us. We have a separate table or a separate window.
Sagar, I just want to put a question. Today, you're relying on Swiggy and Zomato, right? So they collect the food. You are safe. They don't come in. They don't touch. It's put in a window, packed and given to them. But what is the surety You know, sometimes even I think, okay, you want to order something, but what is the surety about the person delivering the product, you know, of his state of health?
So what we do is the same rule that's applied for a Swiggy Zomato guy. When the rider comes in, we check his temperature. His temperature is checked with the red infrared thermometer, and at the same time we ensure that he's wearing a mask or a glove. If he's not wearing a mask or a glove, we refuse the order. If his temperature is more than 99 degrees, we refuse the order. At the same time, we have ensured social distancing at outside at the waiting area. So what happens when you have 7 8 orders together? They all come and they huddle up together, right? We have not made circles, but we have put Wow Momo stickers outside the store, round stickers which say stand here. So you have a distance of almost 3 feet before every sticker is put. So when they come and wait, also they are maintaining social distance. Uh, Most importantly, when we do the temperature check and we ensure that any guy having a temperature, we don't give the food to him. Not wearing a mask, don't give food to him. Not wearing gloves, don't give food to him. Cancel the order if required, or request Swiggy Zomato to send a different rider. At times it's happened that the consumers have got annoyed, irritated, thinking that the orders got delayed, but the reason for the delay is because the riders got changed. The riders got changed because the rider's not wearing a mask or a glove. So we've been very, very strict there. At the same time, I think Swiggy and Zomato have made it mandatory for all their employees to have the Arogya app, and so is for our employees. So in the app, you can also know in what vicinity which guy is there, and he has to log into the app every day and give his temperature checks. So I think that's also a level of alertness that we are doing while using technology. I think we all are trying to trying to do our best, because see, there are millions and millions of deliveries happening, and the guys who are actually coming and delivering, I actually feel for them. They
Absolutely.
are actually risking their lives, to be honest. The guys who are also working in my store, they're risking their lives, right? And they're humans. I remember one incident happened in Delhi where one pizza delivery boy was caught with the virus, and the media made a large hue and cry about it. But ultimately they are humans. They are also bound to get infected by the virus. We have to take all precaution measures that we can. We have to, as an industry, as a brand, as an organization, we are serving food, right? Food is like we call it anna devta. We call it God, right? Now in our industry, we cannot cheat with that food. We cannot cheat with that anna devta. We have to ensure that the food is respected and served in the right manner. I'm sure people in our industry, they love feeding, and they're taking all possible measures to ensure health and hygiene. I'm sure these aggregators are taking all possible measures. But again, I'm being honest. I'm talking heart to heart. These guys are humans. They're risking their lives to come out there and make millions and millions of deliveries across the country during this lockdown. A few cases here or there are bound to happen. I think in the US, it happened with the KFC, many of the KFC employees. It happened with the Starbucks employees. It happened with Domino's employees. So, these things are going to happen. The good thing is that the guy ordering the food also has an option of doing contactless receiving of the food. You can make the payment online. So there's no contact of giving him cash, or there's no contact of, taking food from him from his hand. And I guess many of these apartments have also made it a rule that the guy who is delivering cannot enter the apartment. So you have to go all the way to the gate, pick up the food and come. So I think these are good measures that we all are taking. We all are doing our bit. We have to be careful. Make sure that, you're wearing your mask, you're well protected, you're using sanitizers. As you go out there, pick up the food, you come back, rinse your hand with sanitizers, do a deep cleaning for 20 seconds, hand wash yourself, and ensure that then you consume the food. The good part is that the food is cooked in a temperature which is above 70, 80 degrees. So, scientifically, no virus can withstand that kind of a pressure. The food is well packed in proper food graded containers. We don't use plastic. The paper that we use is the ITC food graded paper, which is very safe. It keeps the food hot, warm. So I think in terms of packaging, we all are trying to do our best. We are trying to avoid plastic more for keeping in mind the environment, as well as plastic is more contaminable to diseases, to getting contamination. So yeah, we're trying to do our best.
Sagar, we got a lot of questions, but we are going to take 3 more questions here. One coming in from Abhishek Vora. The COVID-19 outbreak has forced us to rethink how to manage the marketing spends. How should an organization look at planning the marketing spends for the next 24 months? What are your thoughts? Because, as you said, out of sight, out of mind. You need to be present. You need to be active. You need to be visible. You can't just go underground. Otherwise, you're wiped out. So what are your thoughts on it?
See, I personally believe that every organization has a marketing team, right? This is the real test of the marketing team. This is the real test for the CMOs, so for the CBOs. I'll tell you why. Because when you have budgets and large budgets, and you have a CMO, and he's using those budgets and getting the work done, then it's not really goes to his credit, because you can also have a media planner doing it. But now will be the time of these CMOs to come forward and prove it that in lesser budgets, how can they make things effective? How can they be visible? See, I've always believed that visibility is not about only spends. You have to be innovative. You have to do things differently. Like I said, we planted umbrellas across the sea beach. We made our guys wear the T-shirt, pick up litter, be visible, etc. I think you have to find innovative ways. You have to use collaborations. There's going to be a lot of collaborative marketing happening. You have to use your existing relationships. Like, for example, we spend a lot of from time and again we spend money on radio with Friends FM, with Fever FM, with other channels, and you guys also time and again come forward and help us out with different kinds of campaigns. We have to look at a long-term campaign where maybe the cost can be concised to an extent for now, but in the longer run it's a win-win for both of us. Where when things stabilize, you come back to me and tell me that, okay, I am now spending less with you, but in future you spend more with me. It's a gentlemanly agreement. You want to put it on pen and paper, do it. For example, if you look at the Telegraph ads right now, not a single ad is there on Telegraph newspapers. Imagine these guys are still keeping the show going on. The newspaper is still being printed without any ads. But at the same time, we will bounce back. Once the lockdown opens up, consumerism will start. And once consumerism will start, awareness will start. People will start talking about their health, their hygiene, about how they're going contactless, how they're maintaining social distancing. So I think in limited budgets, we all have to find our own way. I'm sure budgets will come down. But like I said, out of sight is out of mind. You have to, have that small marketing budget. You have to look into the ROI. I think for any businesses, what money you put in and what comes out, that maths has to be done in a normal scenario. I think that maths will have to hold true for the current scenario, and will have to hold true for any kind of business, because you will not see discretionary spends happening on marketing. You will see very effective campaigns happening. I think it's also going to clean up the mess in the industry. I think you'll see many innovative ideas coming out. You will see Jimmy sir doing something very innovative on radio. You will see the media, the newspapers, the television people coming up with innovative campaigns. We did something very innovative. When Narendra Modi spoke, we had an L banner of us saying that, we are on for delivery in Swiggy and Zomato. We did more of a barter a very small monetary arrangement with Republic. And, when Narendra Modi ji was talking, 10 times Wow Momo was shown in that L screen. We just spent 2 lakh rupees, but this was when we had just begun, when the lockdown had just begun, and we wanted the delivery to be on. And it gave us a lot of traction. We could see that delivery mix happening. We could see so many people recalling that, we saw you on TV. So you have to be very innovative. You have to look at the right medium, the right media to spend and get your message across.
Great. 2 more questions. TVS Shinoy is asked a very pertinent question. It's trying time right now. People are feeling low. People are thinking. People don't know how to go about with their businesses. Everybody is thinking. How do you motivate and keep your employees engaged during these times? It's not just about work, but how are you motivating and engaging them, not just in the city, but I'm sure in a lot of cities across, knowing that the boss is in action, we also need to be action. Like, you lead the way, you follow by rule kind of basically.
So yeah, I think we, like I said, we have 2,700 employees and we could only engage 700 of them. So we did a lot of innovative stuff. We created a Wow Momo Yellow Army. Now, what this Yellow Army did across cities was for all senior citizens, whatever their needs were, we got it delivered to them at their doorstep. I think that really upgraded the positioning of the brand, how sensitive we are towards the society. And we felt that, because if we have extra guys, we have extra manpower, we have bikes, why not utilize them to the fullest? At the same time,
talking about bikes, we have a question come up. You have talked about go to the consumer. Why are you not employing mobile vans? It's coming from Bibhu Nag with Wow Momo to go to the housing complexes and sell your products. He's talking business straight, saying you can get a good amount of sale within very short time and targeted customers, because people who are the bakeries, the confectionaries are actually delivering in bulk to various
Yeah,
complexes.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
why shouldn't you take that route?
So we've thought about this, to be honest, but the problem is that these delivery, these big housing complexes, they have a welfare association and they come up with rules. Now, what is happening is that breads and confectionery is looked at like an essential product, but when it comes to momos, it's not essential for many. So they don't allow you and they don't give you permission at the current scenario. We've tried it out. Rather, what we are now doing is we are coming up with Vamomo essential vans. So in Vamomo Essentials, we sell atta, we sell rice, we sell eggs, breads. So I live in this complex called Urbana. So we're going to have a Vamomo Essentials coming up here. We're having one coming to South City, and we're going to look at the response and see how it goes, and then maybe have it delivered to other places. But at the moment, we would love to do it. We would love to come to your complex and serve, but many of them are not giving us permissions. The person asking this question, if I can get a permission in his complex, I would be the first one to send my vehicle there. That's my promise to you.
Yes, I will.
So, you can just email me on sagardaryani@wowmomo.co.in and you will see a Wowmomo vehicle there in the next couple of days' time. That's my promise to you.
Amazing. We got a lot of more questions, but time has run out. Thank you for everyone who's been sending in amazing questions. And Sagar, thank you, because you've been a wonderful
Pleasure.
speaker. But now I'd like to call on our president from the CMA, Mr. Amitabh Datta, to kindly say a couple of words on this momentum, amazing speaking session we had.
Sagar, thank you very much
Thank you, sir.
something which is I was really looking forward to. In fact, I was particularly touched by what you said in the initial stages, when you said that you told your employees that there will not be any retrenchment for the next 6 months. I think that is something which proves that society can do it. And at the end of it all good businesses have to actually be doing that. You see, unfortunately, there are a lot of people who talk about it, but very few practice it. And for example, a lot of people you see are people who, in their balance sheet, end off by saying that greatest assets are people, etc., etc. But you know what is happening in their companies? A lot of them, unfortunately, sad but true. But I'm proud that we have somebody amongst us who's done what should be done. In fact, I was participating in a webinar with some senior people from the media and the consumer industry in Bangladesh, all the top companies, And the moderator, he came up with something very interesting. He said, he was talking to a young entrepreneur in Bangladesh and asking about how he was facing the situation. Went to this boy, and young chap, is all of 25 or something. He said, Dada, actually, I'm very happy. He said, what makes you happy? He says, for the first time, I've actually got an opportunity to demonstrate actually what I've been claiming all through. I've been claiming a whole lot of things that, I care society. Now this is my opportunity to actually demonstrate that I can actually do it. I know that it was a great opportunity. So hearing you, I was able to relate the two. And I think it's great. I think what we need, not only do we need, and I entirely agree with you, that I think we definitely need a lot of support for the government, which just like you, I'm very excited that it will not happen. I just hope that it will happen shortly. But more importantly, we need a lot more Sagars after things open up, because we need a lot more innovation. You need a lot more entrepreneurs, because yes, the whole world is going to change, and unless you have young people, and there'll be a lot of young people who will be, unless we find a way of somehow getting them to be involved in something which can actually let them do things with a lot of dignity, and keeps them not the quantum of money, money can be small, but
it's a golden opportunity for India. I mean, look at it, the entire world to an extent is going to be anti-China, and there are so many Chinese companies that we all take so many products that we imported from them. I mean, if that can start from India, imagine how big it's going to become.
And a lot of these products are pretty simple, not very
Very,
highly
very
tech.
possible.
No.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I think what we need and the need for the hour is more Sagar Daryanis, and I'm sure you will do a bit to inspire a lot of people. You are
Yeah.
actually inspiring a lot of people. But thank you very much,
Thank you,
very
sir.
much for being with us, and we need more support from you. And if there's anything that we can do to help, please do let us know. We'd like.
Thank you, Amitabh sir. Thank you. Thanks a ton. It was wonderful being here, interacting with all of you and sharing my experiences. And just keep supporting us. And, I think it's a wonderful platform. I'm sure many entrepreneurs have come and spoken. And, it was a heart-to-heart conversation. Thank you, Jimmy, sir, for keeping it so light and allowing me to be myself, and really loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this evening. It's really appreciated. With that, we come to an end of another episode of this amazing talk with Sagar, and in the series of CMA webinars. Well, there is a lot coming up on the CMA webinars, so we request you to kindly stay in touch. Till then, stay safe, stay indoors. The Nor'westers are happening, so please, please ensure that you guys are absolutely safe. And even if you have to go out, ensure that you take adequate care. Till then, all the best, good night, and God bless.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.